everyone? Welcome to episode 14 of the Sup. Chase, how you doing, bro?
What it do, baby? Sup. It's crazy that it's been 14 weeks. Hoyt asked me earlier. He was like, "What episode is it today?" And I was like, "This is episode 14." That's crazy. We've been doing this for over two
Two
and a half
and a
months now.
half months, man. We
It's
should
been
ask
fun.
Hoyt as well. If Hoyt or Napoon want to drop in the chat, let us know how long have we been doing video? Have we been doing video for
7 weeks. This
14?
is our seventh week.
Is
So
okay,
yeah,
7 weeks,
seven
baby.
weeks.
And we,
It's been fun though. I
and
like the live stream format.
we're flowing, baby. We are flowing. All right, so guys, today's theme is the future of crypto, and we have the winners of the first season of the Super dApp Showdown. Super amped to talk to them all. So, in this episode and next week as well, we're going to be hosting a joint panel with all 10 of the Super dApp Showdown winners. Today, we have the first four. We're going to talk about their tech, how it's integrated with the possibilities of Supra's architecture and protocols, and how these teams are really building the future of crypto. So exciting times, man.
Yeah, that's super exciting. I'm bullish on a lot of these projects, especially Crystara. I talk to him pretty often. I'm big into the NFT space. If you've known me at all, you know that that's where I kind of got established in the Web3 space as a whole. So it's been a big week for them. It's also been a big week for Solido. So I'm excited to talk to both of them and learn more about the other projects we have on stage too. So before we get into the ecosystem and tech news stories for this week, let's get an intro from each of our guests. I think that's the best way to start this week. So gentlemen, please give us an intro to your position in the company, when you started, and what your company does. And we'll start with Atmos here.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Siddhant, originally a programmer and researcher turned entrepreneur, now co-founder of Atmos Protocol. So Atmos really started with a simple question we asked ourselves back in 2022. How do we make DeFi simple and actually engaging for people to use? That kicked off a ton of research into the gaps in existing protocols, especially around accessibility, UX, and sustainability. And after that, we officially kicked off things last year around November, and that's when Atmos was incepted. At its core, Atmos is a full DeFi trading ecosystem, or as we like to call it, the gamified super DEX and liquidity engine of Supra. So what makes us different is how everything comes together. You've got a multi-fork smart router for best swap outputs, a hyper AMM that gives you flexibility to create custom pools, making it highly composable, and a super clean launchpad where anyone can launch a token without worrying about its liquidity or setup. And on top of that, there's built in gamification and social layers. Users can interact, complete, level up, which brings life to the ecosystem in a way most traditional dexes just don't, right? So we have made it almost plug and play. The complexities, routing, liquidity logic, incentives, all of that is abstracted on the backend. From the user sides, it's very simple and intuitive. And ultimately, that's the energy we are trying to bring.
I love that. Starting a project with the idea of how can we make this easier and more fun, right? I think it's a great way and a great kind of key turning point of starting any project. Let's go to Yang from Crystara.
Hey, hi there. So, yeah, my name is Yong, and I'm the founder and tech lead for Crystara. Crystara is Supra's first NFT marketplace with some sort of unique twist where we add essentially blind box mechanics to collection mints. So, if you know CSGO, you know how you can purchase a CSGO crate and you see like a thrilling spinner. That's kind of our take on NFTs and trying to gamify the NFT space essentially. And yeah, so Crystara was founded during the Super Movers Hackathon, which happened earlier this year. And yeah, we've been going strong. We just launched Mainnet about 2 days ago. And yeah, things are going good.
Yeah, man, y'all are getting a ton of love from the community as a whole. I see it constantly online. I've also been getting a ton of people tagging me in Bitbots posts. Shout out to them; they're doing great, man. They've kind of become like the first real NFT project on Supra. So I just love to see it happening. Seeing people actually on our L1 rocking NFT PFPs on our L1. Like it's a cool turning point for Supra as a whole, and it's great that you and Crystara as a whole are kind of running that for us. So great job for you. Super stoked for you and the team, and lots of exciting things to come. And moving on to Solido.
Hey, GM, everyone. And for sure, I think I'll just give a quick notification that I'm speaking live from Solido's Dev Dungeon. You might hear some of the background noises. It might be just people asking for coffees or something. Yeah, we have to have people logged in because of the mainnet, shipping up fast, breaking up things, shipping up again. Yeah, so all of that's going on. We just announced our mainnet today. I think it's been a few hours, seeing a great traction from community. I think already 100 plus users that we have already seen. And but quickly, I'm Mr. Square. I'm the core contributor at Solido Money. Solido is all about building, liquidity and capital efficiency for Supra's DeFi. So we are all about that, how we can unlock liquidity that are somehow being tradable or put up in any of these DeFi assets, and then use this liquidity to earn yield and those kinds of things. Today we announced our mainnet launch for Solido Cash. Cash is the first native stablecoin on Supra that you can mint on Supra by depositing or backing it with Supra tokens. We will see more collaterals that will be added here, yield generating tokens and other sort of tokens that will be used. So Solido Cash is the first product. We are soon going to be coming up with the first Supra's LST as well. So you can stake Supra and get ST Supra, and then of course you can use ST Supra to mint cash, our stablecoin, right? So it's going to be a deeply plugged system. Very soon we will have Solido Yield, a product to invest your cash and earn yield on your cash token, your cash stablecoin. That will also be launching in over the coming weeks. So yep, that's kind of a quick summary on Solido.
That's exciting, man. What a day. Yeah, I'm sure y'all are in the dungeon right now. I mean, launch day is always super high stress. TGE was for us was I don't even know how to explain the stress that ran through the team at that time. So I know your team's feeling the pressure, but y'all are killing it. I'm excited to see what's coming, man, here in the near future. And then last but not least, let's hear from Deri Protocol.
Oh, hi. Hey, thank you, Chase. So good morning, good afternoon, evening, everyone. This is X Alpha. I'm the co-founder of Deri Protocol. Deri Protocol is a decentralized derivative platform where Deri is, as you can tell, is the 4 letters of derivative. So on Deri Protocol, you can trade futures, options, and some other innovative derivative types. And in short, Deri Protocol is a one-stop shop for all derivatives. Our mission is to facilitate traders to deal with risk in whatever way they want. Linear risk or non-linear risk like options. So Deri Protocol, you can leverage or you can hedge your risk or you can take arbitrage. So whatever way you want. We've been in the DeFi sector for 4 years. And now the protocol is in its 4th iteration. Deri v4, that's our current version. And up to 1 week ago, our protocol had only been deployed on EVM blockchains. But as I'm speaking here, our colleagues are finishing up the last piece of our deployment on Supra. So I think as soon as next week, actually most of the part has already been done. We're just finish up the last piece and do the final round of internal testing. So as soon as I think next week, you guys can trade Deri supported derivatives on Supra. It's going to be our first launch on the non-EVM blockchain. I'm super excited for this. And so please remember our website, deri.io, that's deri.io. And stay tuned and come to deri.io to trade futures and options next week.
Hey, some big old alpha being dropped at the beginning of an episode. We love to hear it, baby. Thank you for letting us in on that. Again, be sure to go check out not only Deri, but all of these projects. They are listed and they should be tagged in the post that we made last night about them. But at the end, I'll be sure to go over it and give them shout outs as well so you can get them followed. But yeah, go. What's up, James?
Well, what's up is some big alpha that we're also dropping here at Supra over the next week. You guys watching right now get to hear the news first. So we're really excited to launch both AutoFi and SupraNova. They're both landing on Supra's public testnet within the next few days. AutoFi, of course, brings enshrined automation and zero block delay to supercharge DeFi execution and revenue sharing across the network. And then SupraNova unleashes bridgeless cross-chain transfers, enabling true L1 to L1 interoperability without the usual security trade-offs. Of course, we know how many attacks and vulnerabilities have been found through bridges. Bridges are usually the weakest link and get exploited pretty easily. So SupraNova really brings some breakthroughs to cross-chain interoperability. We're launching all of that onto public testnet within the next week. So keep an eye out on our socials for when that all goes live. So, gents, as we talk about these, I just would love for you to give us a short breakdown or an explanation of how both Supra's automation and the SupraNova cross-chain interoperability will help you build a super dApp. If you only want to focus on one of these tech stacks in your answer, that's fine. But let's start with Siddhant at Atmos.
So absolutely. So I'm genuinely excited about both Supra's automation and SupraNova, as I think they play a crucial role in helping us at Atmos build a true super dApp, and not just Atmos, but in fact the entire ecosystem. So with AutoFi, we can achieve completely on-chain automation for features like subscriptions, trading strategies like DCA, limit orders, and automated reward distributions. Basically, anything can be automated on-chain. Before, executing these features or strategies fully on-chain wasn't practical, right? So projects had to rely on third-party integrations or off-chain bots, creating security risks and potential delays. Now with AutoFi, the blockchain itself monitors and executes user-defined conditions instantly within the same block. Honestly, it's like upgrading from manual shifting to an automatic self-driving experience. So it's smoother, faster, and much more reliable. So coming to SupraNova, the SupraNova's bridgeless cross-chain interoperability is another interesting innovation. So traditional bridges have always been notorious points of failures and counterintuitive to Web3's decentralized ethos. That is, we have to trust these bridges, right? So SupraNova solves this by providing direct L1 to L1 interoperability, no intermediaries, no unnecessary risks. This means any dApp building on Supra can seamlessly connect users and assets across multiple blockchains, dramatically increasing our accessibility, liquidity, and reach. So, summing it up, I believe these Supra technologies empowers Atmos and other projects building on Supra to deliver a DeFi experience that's not only safer and more efficient, but also genuinely seamless and agnostic. So this synergy moves us significantly closer to making decentralized finance accessible and intuitive for everyone. Exactly what a super dApp should be in the first place.
Boom, baby. Wow. I mean, Siddhant, if you had more time, we would hire you to consult for us on the marketing team because that was like pure promo, baby. Absolutely love it. But I
Cinema.
guess, you wouldn't be building on Super if you didn't believe in what we are bringing to our architecture. 0x Alpha, sir, how about you guys at Deri?
Yeah, sure. So while both these two are, I think, super cool progress, super cool things, but I think I want to focus on this cross-chain interoperability and the as you said, super dApp concept, because this is actually related to Deri protocol. So just now I mentioned that Deri is in its fourth iteration. The Deri before was designed, when we designed this, it was designed to be the so-called X dApp, or which stands for cross-chain dApp. I think it's the same concept, same thing as James what he just called a super dApp. And put simply, we build a protocol that is deployed across different blockchains. But there were protocols deployed on the different blockchains, but they were deployed like as many different standalone copies on different blockchains, right? But the way that there before is deployed across different blockchains, but it is as one unified protocol, which means the liquidity providers from different blockchains are providing liquidity into the same piece of liquidity, and the traders across different blockchains, they are actually trading against the same piece of liquidity. So theoretically, people from two blockchains to interact with Deri protocol, despite they probably have like a different latency or gas cost, but other than that, they experience all the same. And this architecture depends on primarily depends on cross-chain interoperability. So any progress in this in the cross-chain interoperability sector would substantially help their protocol to improve in the future. So that's why we're so interested in any progress in this sector. And I think what I just said sounded a little abstract. Let me put this into maybe a practical scenario. So basically, cross-chain interoperability enables a scenario, for example, scenario related to their protocol. For example, people can trade derivatives on Supra, but the counterpart to fill that trade might have its liquidity actually sitting on some other blockchain. Some other blockchain, say Base, right? So imagine a crypto world like that in the future. I believe. I think in the DeFi world we talk about legal game of money, which means you can combine DeFi projects in whatever way you want. But now in the future we can combine blockchains in whatever way you want. I believe a lot of innovations will be built on top of that.
Come on, man! I love that. Like that's actually a powerful example. Like someone trading on Deri on the Supra blockchain could actually have their derivative trade filled by someone with liquidity on Base. Like that's just such a great example. Makes so much sense, and that's exactly what we need in Web3 is true interoperability, where all the blockchains are speaking to each other. You're pulling liquidity from one chain to the other to fill certain trades on another Base chain. So I love that, man. That was a great example. Thank you, brother.
Yep.
Now, NFT markets is a little bit interesting. Would love to get your input here, Young, and how these protocols affect Crystara markets.
Yeah, so I've actually been following essentially all of this super tech, right, since basically the very beginning, especially when I was working during the hackathon for Crystara. And one of the things that actually stood out to me was it was called Hyperbridge or something like that in the past, but now it's renamed to SupraNova. Essentially the bridgeless bridge system, right? It's going to be native on Supra, and it's probably going to be much faster than other bridges out there. So kind of what I want to do, at least for our NFT marketplace, is to kind of incorporate the bridge so that people from other chains with liquidity resting outside of Supra, if they're interested in our platform as a whole, it becomes a bit more maybe chain agnostic if we can empower their trades with like bridging essentially. So if let's say you have maybe 1 Solana and you want to buy this NFT on Supra, maybe what we can do is you just connect to your Solana wallet, pay with Solana, and we handle everything else for you. That's something that we're kind of looking into. Maybe some sort of ZK wallet integration, so that we come up with your Supra wallet, and then internally we're handling all of the transfers. So we're just trying to make like a very seamless experience where you can use any kind of any wallet from any chain to buy on our platform. So that's kind of
Wow.
what we're planning to do for SupraNova.
So quick question. I'm just going to follow up real quick here. If someone on another chain does buy, and obviously I understand that kind of tech is going to take a while to roll out and engineer, but if you successfully do that and someone with a Solana wallet, a Polkadot wallet, an Ethereum wallet comes along and buys an NFT of Crystara, where does that NFT live? Would it live in their immediately created Supra wallet, or would it be bridged to that base layer wallet?
Yeah, so I think bridging NFTs is a really, really cool idea. I've always thought about how that could possibly happen, and that's something that we can definitely look into. But for the initial idea to integrate the SupraNova, it's going to be on the freshly created Supra wallet. So it's going to be like a ZK wallet. Yeah, you just log in with your socials, and we're just trying to make it more Web2 friendly. Yeah.
Love that, man. NFTs being Web3 friendly. Come on. All right. And finally, Mr. Square at Solido, how about SupraNova and AutoFi impacting what you guys are building?
Yep, I'll really like to talk more about AutoFi, because I think this is AutoFi is like really fundamental, or a core component of our entire protocol design or entire protocol idea, right? So if you see what we are doing, like so what I'll do, I'll let you guys in on a secret here for tech, or what we what kinds of differentiates us from everyone else, kind of, because there is of course hundreds of CDPs already that exist, right? It's not CDP, MakerDAOs, those guys, OGs, they built it back in 2017. I'd say pretty old stuff, right? That CDPs are not anything new. But how this differs here is that all these DeFi primitives that we are building, whether it's Solido Cash, the CDP protocol, or Solido Flow, the LST protocol, these combines in the automation, like the investment strategies. Think of these DeFi primitives combined with high frequency style like investment strategies, right? So when we hear about specifically the zero block delay automation that is brought in by Supra, and that's something very exciting, and it's talked very little about, but I think this is the core game changer here. We have been using automation. I have been specifically working on the investment strategy in DeFi since 2020, since 2020, and I would say that the automations like Gelato, BlockFi, kind of those who provided these automation services were always been fundamental to our product and business model. But there has always been this barrier, right? That once the transaction is confirmed on the chain, then only Gelato or any of these other third-party automation services are going to get to know about that transaction, and they will be able to do something about it. Right now, if we talk about high-frequency trading scenarios, right? I mean, of course, I agree that on the Cosmos, on the other chains, there are like literally 1 second or 2 seconds, kind of block transaction time. But that's not good enough if we talk about high frequency trading strategies, right? That's anyway, it is honestly not good enough when we are talking about those strategies, right? It has to happen real time. It has to happen then and there itself. And this is what, by building this fully vertical integrated stack on Supra is able to achieve this. So this, I would say that the AutoFi is the most exciting thing about, and that's what make all these protocols that we are building really different. So with AutoFi now we can do instant partial liquidation. We can kind of run investment strategies kinds of things for redemptions, for for liquidating assets which are deeply convoluted into DeFi, right? Like let's say the LP tokens or other yield generating assets. We do not see the assets as a collateral currently in the CDPs because this is difficult. You have to make quick decision, you have to make it fast, and you have to make it now. And kind of by integrating these AutoFi part, we are now able to achieve all of this. And that's why I'd say that this is definitely AutoFi is the core component of what we are building. Similarly, I can keep going on about what we can do with the Solido flow, but I'm sure you guys get the idea. That's kind of on Lido, you think about investment strategies running, right? And that's what Solido flow is gonna be, so that we can maximize all our Supra yields over here. So yep, I'm very excited about AutoFi. For sure, SupraNova is something that's I think we as a DeFi builders have been promised, and we have been waiting. I think since the very dawn of DeFi, right? We very big, nice, good promises from the Layer 0 Hypernova, right? A ton of these protocols that became very big, but we are honestly not seeing really a lot of impact in the core DeFi. So I'm not being kind of skeptical here of SupraNova or cross-chain or any of these cross-chain. I really want that it would be fantastic to lock your Bitcoin on Bitcoin network and mint your cash on the Supra blockchain, right? Lock your ETH or BNB on the BNB smart chain and just mint the stablecoin on the Supra. It would be fantastic. We would implement that. But yeah, we are still to see that what comes up and then how do we integrate it. But definitely super pumped up for this. But AutoFi, yeah, for sure, go baby, go on all on the AutoFi side of things.
Yeah, I'm actually just excited to see like how y'all are already thinking about using it in the future to benefit y'all's project, and not only y'all's project, but obviously our ecosystem as a whole. So I'm excited. I'm bullish on all of you guys, and really excited to kind of see how it does play out into y'all's project, whether that be AutoFi or Hypernova. So let's get down to something a little different. Let's do some Web3 and tech news. And so let's have a quick look at what's been going on in tech and Web3 this week. First, let's just start it off with Meta's antitrust trial kickoff. So Meta faces a major U.S. antitrust trial over alleged monopolistic practices in social media, spotlighting its acquisitions and emotionally based ad targeting. This case could reshape big tech regulation with far-reaching industry consequences. And I wanted to talk to Ox Alpha here on this one. Do you think that Meta has been too monopolistic in its practices? And if so, do you think it's right that a government has to step in and limit its size and influence?
Well, that's an interesting question, interesting and big. Well, first of all, I'm not a lawyer, so I can only talk about this issue from the user or product standpoint, not from legal perspective.
Not legal advice in LA. Yeah, not legal advice.
Yeah, not financial advice either.
Not an NFA. Yeah. Not financial advice.
Yeah. So as far as I know about this case, what I understand is that the regulator's argument, which is FTC in this case, is that you should not use a buy to squash strategy against your competitors. So the key point is whether this strategy is justified, whether it is good to use that. But here's the situation. I think here's the situation. Here's what happened. Meta or Facebook previously was really losing its edge in the social network game, but it has tons of cash. So those are two preconditions for this to happen. So instead of building a new product or improving Facebook to compete with Instagram or WhatsApp, they took a shortcut. They just bought the other two. And in fact, I think Facebook also tried the same strategy with Snapchat and TikTok. The deals just didn't happen. But from the user perspective, I don't see a problem with these deals since they don't hurt the products that were bought, right? So think about another scenario. If Facebook had bought Instagram and WhatsApp only to purposely make them bad so that no one would use them, basically to kill them off, to protect Facebook itself, so to protect Facebook's position, that would definitely be an issue. Okay, so I don't think that's the right thing to do. That I think there's definitely a legal problem there. But that's not what happened. So Instagram and WhatsApp have been doing great since the acquisitions, right? It's doing great. It's doing better than Facebook itself. I mean, right now I'm a regular user of WhatsApp. I'm an occasional user of Instagram, but I stopped using Facebook since I don't know 5 years ago. So sure, the companies behind those two products no longer exist as separate entities, but as long as the products keep working and evolving just like before, so what difference does it make to the users? I mean, we don't care about the. I mean, from user perspective, I don't care about the companies behind them, right? I don't see a real issue here, and for users' benefit, competition is important. But what matters most is I think what matters most is the competition between the products. So the real question here is if several products are owned by the same company, does that sibling relationship harm the competition between these products? I think that it really depends on case. That's a very case by case issue. But in this particular instance, I just don't see any harm. This sounds a little bit like I'm speaking for Meta or Facebook or Mark Zuckerberg. I do want to make it clear that I'm not a fan of Meta or Mark Zuckerberg personally. Even though, I think it's fair to say that he might be the indirect reason for us gathering here today, as he actually initiated this Libra project, which eventually led to the Move language and then the Move family blockchains, including Supra.
With Sam Blackshear,
Yes, in that sense. Okay, so he indirectly got us here, gathering here, talking about these interesting topics. But so thanks to Mr. Zuckerberg for that, but that's about it. Personally, I'm not a fan of him. Well, despite that, I don't see, in this particular instance, I don't see any problem with the acquisition of Instagram or WhatsApp. So that's my opinion.
No, that's great. I mean, there's a real philosopher inside you there, man. So if you have a medium where you write about your various opinions, we would love to read it, because there's clearly a philosophical thinker right there. That was great.
I guess I need to do a lot of that kind of posting.
That was great.
I would take it. I would do it.
I love that. I also love that. Like, I'm not a fan of Meta, but because of Meta, we're all here thanks to the Move language created by the Libra team and Sam Blackshear. Of course, the guys behind, who eventually went on from Libra to Sui and then eventually Aptos. So, very interesting point. Thank you, sir. Second on the news, guys, is we move on to Web3. Andrew Kang. If anyone knows Andrew Kang, he's the founder of Mechanism Capital. He doubled his Bitcoin investment to a $200 million long position. Now, 200, I mean, that's crazy numbers. Like that's literally my entire extended family could retire on $200 million and live comfortably and then create generational wealth. That's just one long position the guy created. He's bet on a price increase after an initial $100 million wager. He's now doubled that. So the move was reported on the 12th of April, which was, if I'm not mistaken, that was Saturday. Obviously, a whole bunch of market volatility has been around since then. The Trump administration tariff pause, and Kang is citing a potential Bitcoin trend reversal. That's huge. I mean, if someone like that is putting a double or nothing sort of bet on Bitcoin going through the roof, people should be taking notice. So very, very interesting. Siddhant, I know you have to go very soon, so please just shout when you need to go. But I'd love your input here. I know you have a financial background. Do you think that we're going to see a Bitcoin trend reversal? And this is an interesting question for you. If you had that kind of capital freely available, I'm not talking about you had $200 million just, saved away. I'm talking freely available, a portion of your portfolio. Would you take such a position?
Honestly, it's hard to ignore the momentum building right now. So Andrew Kang doubling down with a $200 million long isn't just a bold move. I think it's a signal. And when you add to that MicroStrategy's recent 285 mil US dollar Bitcoin buy, it starts to look like we are seeing coordinated confidence from some of the smartest capital allocators in the space. And then there's the macro layer rumors about the US potentially using tariff revenue to build a strategic Bitcoin reserve. That's a big narrative shift, even if it partially materializes. You've also got Robert Kiyosaki out there telling people to hedge against dollar with Bitcoin, and Japan's Meta Planet ramping up to hold 10,000 BTC by the end of year. These aren't just, I feel, isolated bets. They are pieces of a bigger picture. And if you see like publicly listed companies increasing their BTC holdings by over 16% in Q1 alone, that's somewhat institutional conviction quietly setting the stage. And all of this to me really points towards a potential trend reversal brewing. If I had the capital, yeah, I mean, I'd seriously consider getting in. Maybe not with a $200 million swing like Kang, but I'd absolutely be thinking about how to position myself ahead of what might be the next big leg up, right? So timing the exact bottom is always impossible, but ignoring signals like these, that feels riskier. And guys, this is not a NFA. It's not a financial advice. So yeah.
NFA, NLA, NPA, whatever we got to say, take this with a grain of salt. But I agree. If I had $200 million just laying away, even if I did have $200 million laying away, I don't know if I have the guts to be like, send it long, baby. Let's see what happens. You know, $200 million could ball out your whole your family tree for a long time. And so to risk something like that, maybe if you got it like that, you got it like that. Unfortunately, I do not have it like that. So I can't even comprehend the thought process behind doing something like that. So not for me, but I love to watch it from the sidelines. And I do agree. It is a signal in one way or another. So, and let's keep it moving within Web3 news. And I think the biggest kind of news that happened over the weekend, Mantra's coin collapse, which was, I can't believe it. Really, it happened so quickly that by the time I saw it on Twitter, it was already done. And so let's get into it a little bit and brief with me here because there's a lot to unpack. So the biggest news of this week is Mantra's token crashed by nearly 90% in only 90 minutes, losing $5.4 billion in market value. It crashed from $5.50 to 42 cents in an hour and a half. An hour and a half, legitimately, people's whole portfolios were just gone. Suspicions include insider dumping, obviously. 43 million were moved to exchanges just before the crash. Flawed tokenomics in October of 2024. The changes diluted the supply. And exchange misconduct, which I think is actually being looked into by multiple government agencies at this time. On-chain data shows that there were indeed large pre-crash tokens transfers, a thin order book on exchanges, and in general, the price was already a large speculative bubble. is up by 825% year to date at this time. So all of these factors seem to amplify the crash. Now, CEO John Mullen denied insider selling and blamed exchanges for reckless liquidations and announced a $109 million recovery plan, including burning 300 million team-held tokens. is on a rebound a little bit. Obviously, it feels like a little bit of a community rebound, but I digress. From 42 cents to just over $1. But it's going to take a lot of work to rebuild the full community trust. Obviously, a lot of times we'll try to see the community try to pump these tokens just to try to get a little bit of their money back. Which, hey, you can't blame them to do so. But I'd like a little bit of input from Mr. Square here from Solido. Accountability is very difficult in Web3. How do you think it could be made better for the Web3 industry?
I think this starts right from the users itself, right? So I think this is like the similar phase when Bitcoin started gaining some interest in the retail. They wouldn't care about, and most of them still don't care about whether it's self-custodied or they are just leaving it on a centralized exchange or something like that, right? So and if and when kind of as DeFi is more growing, this accountability from the users are coming in. I think kind of this is the similar kind of a phase where we don't really, in terms of hype, we as a user just jump the ship, right? Like, I remember this. There was this protocol, right? The Blast Layer 2 on Ethereum, right? Where people deposited. I think it was like $500 million or over $1 billion of pre-deposit, and then someone told that their contract has a backdoor, where they can withdraw all this money. I mean, of course, good thing. They are good guys, no doubt about it. So nothing happened, but that's not what DeFi or on-chain finance is about, right? That you have a backdoor or something, and from which you can withdraw. I think when I saw this news that this has happened, the TVL was at around at 500, 600, and then the next day I think it shot up to even 901 bill, right? So even when the news is out, people in hype do not really care about what's going to happen. So they are still on the momentum. Okay, just take my money, give me the airdrop, right? I'm happy about it. So I think if the project, because kind of I mean, of course, the Web3 and DeFi is all about directly building a protocol or directly building a system or service which cannot be manipulated like this, right? Which does, where, kind of you have to have a protocol or service where you don't need to keep people accountable, right? We don't need to keep Satoshi accountable for anything, right? One of his wallets might just come up and start selling, right? I don't even think that this is going to. I mean, of course, the market will get some news. They will get some, masala of talking things around. But it's it's not that the guy is not accountable, right? It's on a very high accountability that the things are happening. So ultimately, the protocols has to be in a way, or things has to be in a way that it remains accountable. Every project does audit for the same purpose, right? And things are transparently written black and white in a good audit report. But we as a user, we tend to ignore them. We do not want to, kind of go through all of that. And I think this is important, because once people will start asking in questions that why there are backdoors in your system, or, kind of why there is so big of this allocation, this somewhere or somewhat, you will be able to do a better research. Token, we all, kind of, when I first noted the rise of token, I think it was not very far, I think like just 5-6 months ago, right? That it suddenly started climbing, because token has been listed for like 2-3 years now. Just been doing all right, and then suddenly it started pumping up. So of course there was something happening. There was no ecosystem, there was no product, there was nothing launching on the chain, right? The chain has literally nothing, and there's still no big news or anything, and still the token is pumping. So kind of it looked like that, some inside things are happening, some inside market making, or things like that. People have been already talking about the disparity of allocations in the projects, but I think because users don't give much time about it, those discussions which people does, they doesn't get enough attention, and things doesn't surface up, and people are all about hype, right? So is doing 10x, so why don't you should also jump on the set. So I think this is where really the accountability starts. I don't think, because we are human after all, right? We are gonna be greedy. We are, right. We we will do all those sort of things, right? It's something built inside humans.
Yep.
We will have to somehow decouple it. That's the only way.
Everybody's chasing that
Fair
golden
enough.
pony. Everybody's
Yeah.
chasing her.
That's it, man. And it's also, that's what I've loved about Web3 in my, honestly, now 12 years of being involved, is the moment you invest in something, you become emotionally connected to that community, and that asset and what they're doing. So it's really interesting how the incentives work. So yeah, interesting points, man. Just before I make the next point, I just want to give a shout out to Siddhant. Siddhant, I know you have another call to get to, so I want to say a huge thank you to you for joining us. We are watching Atmos very, very closely, sir, and thank you for making the time to join us on this panel.
So really appreciate being a part of the convo, guys. Always great sharing space with fellow builders. Really loved the energy, and thanks for having me.
Yeah. Let's do it again soon, my man. We would love to have you on again.
Definitely.
Chat
Catch you all
again
soon, guys.
watching Atmos closely, sir. Thank you. So I just wanted to make a little point real quick before moving on to our next deep dive into each of your projects. We actually saw a tweet come out from one of our co-founders, John Jones. He actually said this week that the Supra founders are locking their Supra tokens for another 2 years. So Supra founder tokens locked for another 2 years. I think that's important to take note of. If you haven't seen that post on X, check it out. John Evans Jones is his X profile. He put that out, or you can just check out Supra_labs. That was a quote tweeted there as well. So I think it's important to understand the commitment that our team and our founders have towards the Supra community. Wrapping up, that wraps up the Web3 and tech news. Chase, back to you, sir.
Yeah. And again, I just want to touch on that. A lot of people don't get to see, behind the veil and see how hard our team is working and how really bullish we all are at this team. We're all very close. We're a team of 120 or so people now, but all of us work very closely together and we're all bullish. And I'm excited to just kind of prove what Supra has been building all this time with the coming months and years. Okay, so let me pull out my shovel. We're going to do a little deep digging. Into each of your projects now, gentlemen. Get ready. Let's start with let's see, who are we starting with? Let's start with Yang from Crystara, because I love what you're building and I'm excited. I love NFTs. So where are you going? Where are you with deployment? I know Mainnet launched this week. And what are some exciting incentives that you have up your sleeves? I don't know. And maybe I'm asking too much here. Maybe there's a little bit of alpha I'm trying to pull out of you. But yeah, just give me a little bit of rundown of what you got going on.
Yeah, perfect. So Crystara just launched about 2 days ago now. And we have hit over 10,000 USD in volume. And it's been a pretty great launch. So we've been working really, really hard to fix all of the bugs and try and get like a very good user experience for everybody. So that's been what's going on for Crystara. And so upcoming, what we have going on is we're going to be integrating DexLin's Supra NS. So essentially, for the more technical people, the token V2 standard, we're going to be incorporating that into Crystara. And you're going to be able to see basically all of your domain names in your inventory on our website. Yeah, so that's kind of what we've got going on. And in the coming days, there's going to be a few more NFT projects coming up. So do follow our Twitter to stay tuned. The next two big ones that are coming up are the Robinauts on the 17th, tomorrow, and the Lunicus, which I'm most excited for, this Sunday. Yeah.
Nice. I love that. And then Chase's super secret alpha project that you'll have no idea that's releasing.
Let's not talk about Chase special project.
Yeah,
the one that he needed 1 million Supra for.
Yeah, y'all won't know it's my project. Yes, a bunch of exciting stuff coming along with y'all. And I'm here for it. As you know, I play CS:GO. I think our first meeting, I actually brought up like, oh, these blind blocks kind of remind me of like the CS:GO mechanism when you're open a crate. You were like, that's exactly what it is. I was like,
exactly
okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love that. So now I'm even more sold. I've been looking around the marketplace, just kind of getting an idea of how people are doing their rarities. I think that's super interesting because you can kind of change them into how you want to make them be randomized. And beforehand, I think the normal way to mint an NFT, you mint an NFT, that token is your token. Whatever it reveals is going to be revealed. There is really no process in revealing them, right? It's like, hey, reveal times at 12 o'clock today, refresh your metadata.
We've got these 10,000 NFTs,
yes.
Just buy them.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no fun in that.
Yeah, no, it's no fun in that. There's an excitement that's built within it, and I love it. So yeah, just look out for my NFT.
and to touch on the incentives that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So what can the community look forward to? Well, there's not much that we can say at the moment, but let's just say that we're planning some sort of incentive program with Supra themselves.
Oh boy, you heard it here first. A little alpha, just all what. Let's.
So what kind of events might be coming up with Supra. I don't know. You guys can go and figure it out. But yeah,
put the puzzle
pretty
pieces
obvious.
together. Yeah, exactly. Awesome, man. I love it. Well, next let's get to Ox Alpha's update on Deri Protocol. What you got going on? And if you want me to re-ask the question again, where are you on deployment? How far? Or what kind of exciting incentives do you have coming in the near future?
We're launching very soon, most likely next week. As I mentioned, as I'm speaking here, our colleagues are doing the last piece of deployment.
Oh, yeah.
We've already finished the on-chain part, the smart contracts part of deployment. So we're wrapping up. So I think for the past several months, we did a smart contract adoption. We did code auditing. We had a Testnet website up and running for a couple of months, and now we're almost done with the mainnet deployment. So finally we're here. We're wrapping up and doing the last round, the last piece and last round of internal testing. So as soon as next week, you can come Deri Protocol to trade futures and options via Supra. Again, remember our website, deri.io. And also I want to mention that what we're launching here was the first version, but more cool things are coming once we have it up and running and we run it smooth. We will have the second version get going very not known after that, and we will have a lot of more exciting features. For example, supporting Supra token as liquidity and collateral, which means you can trade derivatives by depositing Supra into your margin account as collateral. So I think that's a very cool feature for the Supra community. So those are on the way. So first thing first, next week, come to deri.io to trade futures and options.
Let's go.
The DGens are going crazy right now. I can literally
I'm right here.
see the DJ.
Mm-hmm.
The DGens
I'm right
are
here.
running around. They're losing their minds. Look at Chase.
Right here.
Chase lost his mind a long time
I'm locked
ago.
in.
But
I'm locked in, baby.
the DGens are going nuts because they're like, what? I can just deposit my Supra and trade on margin, baby. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to lose it all. I'm ready to lose it all.
You have kids, Chase. You have kids.
Well,
Yeah, please.
of course, we want you to make money.
Please remind him, Young. Please remind him. Thank you, sir.
I'll
We
send
actually
it right
said
now.
We said a couple of shows ago, we said we're going to change this show, or I'm going to make a new show about how Chase will teach you all not to lose money. Just follow what he does, or don't follow what he does, and you won't lose money.
I need to start posting my calls so y'all can do the opposite, and you will make great money. I'm dead serious.
Oh man. Okay, so finally, the reason that we've left Solido for last year is because you guys just launched Mainnet today. What a day. And just a big shout out to you, Mr. Square, for making today's show. What a crazy day it must be.
Yeah.
So obviously that Mainnet launch means a bit of an incentive campaign. You guys are celebrating with a Supra cash register campaign. Users deposit Supra, and then they convert that Supra into cash, which is Solido Money's native token. You can earn yield on that and then stack Solido points. So pretty epic day for you guys. So I apologize for taking away a lot of your announcements there, but do you want to elaborate a little bit for us on that news and the campaign, Mr. Square?
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, James. Our first primitive, the CDP that we call Solido Cash, is live now. So what you can do with Solido Cash is that if you have Supra token, and of course you don't want to sell your tokens, but you have to buy some NFTs on Crystara, right? You have to put some DEX USDC or some of these collateral on Deri. You don't have to sell that in order to do that. What you can do is that you can come to the Solido Cash, you can deposit your Supra here, and then you can borrow, technically mint the stablecoin, and then you can go and do all of these things with the cash itself. So you get the liquidity instantly. You just pay a one-time borrow fee, and then you keep the liquidity for as long as you want. It's just a one-time mint fee, and you have your full exposure to Supra. So if the Supra price goes up, you come here again, mint more, right? Things like that. So this part is live now. We are celebrating this with the cash register campaign. 25 million Supra tokens are up for grabs in this campaign. Pretty big, and it's already started. So people have 1 month during this until next month, until May 14th. They can deposit Supra. All the Supra tokens that they will deposit, they will earn a 15% yield on their Supra tokens, and then they get a multiplier on their Solido points that they are already getting. So there is a boosted Solido points as an additional incentive that is going on. So people have 1 month to deposit, and then their funds will be locked in for 3 more months, so until August 14th. So you will have to keep your Supra logged in into Solido protocol until August 14th. And after that, you will get the Supra yield, the APR, and all the Solido points that you have accumulated. So yep, this is all about our current launch and this campaign that's going. If you want, I can carry on our roadmap for the next couple months. But yeah, I'd stop for questions if any.
Yeah, for sure. I actually wanted to just step in here and ask how you are on time. I know today is a huge day for you and your team. You've already taken almost an hour out of your day. We scheduled these for an hour. A lot of the time they do run long because we have a good time doing these, and I like keeping people longer than I'm supposed to. But so I just want to make sure, like, are you pressed for time right now? Because if so, I don't want to keep you too much longer, and I want to just make sure that I ask a couple questions that I do want to get in.
There is always a pressing for time, but no worries. Happy to be here. I can spare more minutes. That's totally fine. Yeah.
I love it. All right, so we are running out of time, so I know you guys are busy, but we'll keep it moving a little bit. But I do have one fun question that was on our list that we weren't going to get to, but I have to ask it because I always love knowing kind of like where people come from, industry speaking, before they got to crypto. So what did you guys do before crypto? We'll start with you, Mr. Square.
I started my life with crypto, at least my adult life.
As a baby? You were a baby trading crypto? Holy!
Just like
his birth cert is tokenized.
Yeah, his birth. It's an NFT in his wallet. Oh,
that is true, sir. That is true, sir. So I'll go in a little bit background. I think it's like 12 years. So when I was as young here, probably in 2015, I was in second or third year of my university. I was doing undergraduate, and my cryptography professor, he mentioned about Bitcoin white paper back in 2014. It was around the end of 2014, and that's how I went into Bitcoin and looked at it, and then found out this arbitrage opportunity in Bitcoin, right? That was crazy back then. And that's what got me into crypto. Then after that, we founded a couple of other venture studios and things like that. And always stayed in crypto, different faucets, enterprise blockchain, DeFi, crypto banks. But yeah, it's always crypto, the focus.
You are a real crypto bro, like a real crypto bro.
Yeah,
love that.
Yeah, it's
I love that. Young, what about you?
Yeah, so I'm still pretty young, right? I'm 22 this year. So before crypto, I was actually just studying for game development. I got a diploma in game development. So
wow.
Essentially, I would have been a game developer before crypto. Yeah. And then I got into, like, I have to do national service. So it's 2 years in Singapore, mandatory. And then there I just learned like full stack development. And then that's just how I segue into crypto during the SupraNova's hackathon.
Wow, I love that. That's super interesting. It's like very recent then. Like that's a cool segue actually.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually one thing that I missed out. So when I was younger, I ran a Minecraft server. Lol.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was like a
nice.
Yeah, it's like a revenue generating thing. It was pretty cool. I was pretty young, and it's just kind of like a good experience, to run this kind of NFT marketplace. You need some sort of founder experience, and I
Yeah.
had some when I was young. So
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Minecraft server. I need to connect you with my son, sir.
Yeah,
Give
my
him all the
now
alpha.
it's closed.
What
Ran for
about
a
you?
good 8 years.
Oh yeah, it's been gone then. What about you, Ox Alpha? Where were you before crypto?
Well, actually, I'm very jealous of Mrs. Queer and the young who are the so-called who are actually native resident of
Yeah.
crypto. Because I'm actually an immigrant, okay, in that sense. I was from traditional finance. Before diving into crypto, I founded a quantitative hedge fund focusing on systematic investment in derivatives, which is a parallel to, well, similar to what we're dealing with. The derivatives are basically like very similar to what we're dealing with today. But that hedge fund later on turned into trading crypto assets. And so that was how I got into crypto, starting with trading, not building. Um, the first step. But then in DeFi summer, this DeFi thing totally blew my mind, and then I saw a whole new world out there. Then whoa, so I think okay, so that's something I can participate into not just as a trader, but as a builder. I can build part of that world, right? That's then I jumped in, so that's how I got into this, and ever since then I've been doing this Deri Protocol.
Nice.
Makes
I love
sense.
it. Wait, James, what did you do before crypto? Me and
Me?
James are old. Me and James are
Same,
old.
bro.
I'm 35. I turned 36 this year. I was
Bro.
basically an adult when Yang was born, but I'm out here still grinding away. James, what did you do? My old
Bro,
man
you are
friend.
not old. Just first of all, you are not old. Mid-30s, the guy's crying about being old, bro. I turned 40 this year, my man, and I am
Dude,
feeling old. I turned
Dude,
my
you
video
don't look a
off
day
just
over
now.
60. You don't look a day over
Yeah.
60.
Thanks, bro. I turned my video off just now because I was stretching. I'm on a standing desk. I was stretching my legs, bro. That is what it means to be 40. Anyway, I was doing this. I was actually doing this stuff. I started in radio at the age of 13 years old. And then in high school, I got my first job in radio, and I got my first salary in radio at the age of 17 years old. So, been radio, communications, marketing, and always been into tech. Was a tech reporter for a radio station here in South Africa. That led me to Bitcoin. And then I started writing about it on our little tech blog on the radio station. And then I went all in 2017, went full-time crypto in 2017. So pretty
That's
much just
crazy.
took my two favorite things, crypto and media and communications, and brought them together.
I love that. I love stories like
man.
that. Yeah.
What about you?
Okay, so the three of us so there are three immigrants
Yeah.
here.
Well,
right?
I'm another.
So that makes me feel not so left out.
I'm another. So I come from the fashion industry. I worked for New Balance and Nike. Nike for 3.5 years as a marketing manager over a lifestyle brand. How I got pulled into crypto was through NFTs. I know I've mentioned it before on the SUP and people that have asked me about it in the past. But yeah, I got pulled into NFTs. I guess it would have been 2018, maybe late 2017 is when I've started kind of getting into it. Got really heavily into NFTs 2019, 2020 during the bull market, and then consistently stayed throughout the bear. And we're still here, baby. So yeah, that was my transition. I am an immigrant from Web 2 and very deep rooted in Web 2 to come to Web 3.
Boom, baby.
Okay, that makes me feel not so left out.
Exactly.
By these two natives.
Exactly.
I love that. Like, I mean, the heritage of Supra's team, to be honest, like some of the where, and I don't want to give away too much because some people may not want to know, but I can tell you that, hearing about Chase being at Nike before being at Supra, we have a big heritage. Supra's team has some incredible people that have come from big corporates to join the Supra team. So it's yeah, man, I love that story, and I can't wait to hear more about what you did at Nike, Chase. You seem like the perfect man to work for Nike. That's all I can say.
Well, dude, and honestly, the reason I started working at Nike, I was really big. I skated my whole life. I surfed my whole life. So I wanted to be on like the Nike SB team. So I had an opportunity to work for the marketing team at Nike, but it was for the lifestyle brand. So it was like the lounge stuff, like your sweatpants, your hoodies, and things like that. So I really worked at Nike because I wanted to just find my way to weasel into the skateboard brand. But after 3.5 years, they still never put me on that brand. They just kept me on lifestyle. So yeah, I wish I would have got on the skateboarding side of things. But also, if I would have got on the skateboarding side of things, I probably would have never really focused my interest in crypto. I would have never been at Supra. I love where I am now. I love the people that I work with. So hey, doors closed for other doors to open, and I could not be happier. Look at us.
Boom.
Look at us, baby.
Screw you, Nike. I'm leaving for Supra. I do. Okay, I know we're way over time, but this is really fun. But my first pair of sort of going out sneakers. I mean, obviously, I had running sneakers were Nikes, but my first pair of going out sneakers from Nike were from the SB line. So
there you go.
And I still wear them. I'm gonna wear them at next week's Sup, and I'll show you guys. Okay.
Yeah. Throw them up on screen.
Mint condition.
You gotta keep them.
All right, so guys, look, we don't want to keep you too much longer, but this is a story that I would love to hear from each of you. Your worst crypto horror story. So preferably a personal story. If it's someone close to you, that's fine, like a good friend. But preferably a personal story. What is your worst crypto horror story? We'll start with Young. What about you?
Yeah, everybody had their worst crypto story.
Oh yeah.
So mine has got to be pretty relatable, or not. I don't know. Essentially, during the FTX crash, you bet I was on FTX, and you know what was the worst part?
Yikes!
Yeah,
Yikes!
You know
We're all laughing.
We're
all like, oh no!
Like Ran from Banter, he actually posted about it, saying, guys, get your funds off FTX, get it off. And I followed him so closely, but it was during like this really bear market period, right? So I just didn't check that much, and then when I realized that the whole thing went down, I was just like, holy shit. And the worst part was the double down part was that I even deposited like 500 a day before it crashed to buy like render or something. Yeah, and then there was like anybody that asked me about FTX, I was just like, yep.
Oh man.
I think people in Singapore were sort of misled by the government because in Singapore, I think FTX was sort of like endorsed by government, so that's why most people in Singapore when they trade, they come to trade in FTX.
Yeah, the thing is,
because they believe, okay, this is the good one. It be endorsed by the government.
It was so big in terms of like an exchange, and usually Singapore likes to regulate these exchanges. And I was just thinking, why hasn't Singapore regulated this? So I just use it, right?
Yeah, and actually, I want to interject here and just say we do have a crowdsourced question. This is coming from Supra Group. Was Yang alive during the FTX crash?
Yo, that's crazy, bro. What do you think I am? When you showing my tokenized birth certificate of like 2 years old or something?
It does feel like 20 years ago, guys. Let's be honest. It feels like 20 years
That's the comment of the day, bro.
Yeah, dude, Hoyt threw it up on screen. That's diabolical work right there.
Good call, Supra Group. We don't know who you are, Supra Group, but good call.
That is so funny.
All right, Mr. Square, what about you, sir? Worst crypto horror story, Mr. Square. What do you have for us? Come on.
Yes, I think it was like around in 2016-17, and at that time there was this virus that got really popular, and and unpopular, I must say. And suddenly people started to have their money just gone off from the wallet, and that was happening. That was happening for some time. As soon as I get to know, I put it up my MetaMask entirely, had a fresh wallet and things like that, and just kept using this wallet with, just for the small amount, just for the testing and those kinds of things, right? So you don't have to worry about it. And I think this went on for like another 1 or 2 years, and for one, kind of just like farming kind of a trade, something, I sifted up some of my ETH into this wallet, and boom, that was gone. And kind of, it's the private key was leaked long back. I would say must be over 2 years ago, kind of when the funds were stolen. And I thought that I somehow kept myself safe, or I don't know what the reason was that the hacker didn't moved it around earlier. But as soon as the big fund came into the wallet, that was gone. So kind of this reminded that, kind of the hackers out there, they are smart. They know who you're targeting, right? Kind of know people really well from the data they get, things like that, kind of. And sometimes it pays off 100x if you are just patient enough, right? So
Yep.
a true reason, I must say, a true reason, because I still have like stolable worthy amount all this time, right? That they could have just took this, couple $1,000 and, just go away with that. But no, they really waited. And I'm still horrified onto that. So I that day I changed all my Bitcoin wallets. I again imported to everything fresh again. And kind of, that was a real horror back then onto, for sure.
Oh man. That's rough.
That is rough. Yeah.
Yeah,
That is rough. I can actually feel your pain.
Yeah, I felt it too. My biggest loss was sending like a $10,000 dead fella to the wrong wallet, and the wallet was dead. Only NFT.
$10,000?
Yeah, dude. Like 2021, I bought a dead fella, and I was sending it to a different wallet. I guess I had copy pasted a different address from somewhere from a giveaway on Twitter. Anyways, copy pasted it like 2 a.m. Not thinking about it. Wasn't in my wallet. I realized I sent it to the wrong address. Go to the wallet. They don't have a single Ethereum NFT, zero activity within like 2 years or something. And I'm like, okay, well, this is no bueno. But yeah, at that time, Deadfellas floor was like 2.5 Ethereum, and Ethereum was at $2,800 around there. So I'm sorry, no, 3.5 Ethereum, and Ethereum was $2,800. So big loss by your boy. But hey,
I'm not.
Look at me.
Yeah. Here you are, sir. Here you are.
I'm just full of losses, dude.
I am absolutely not going to talk about my worst crypto horror. We'll be here forever. We will be here forever. Mr.
Cool.
Alpha, so you've been in derivatives trading for a long time. So I do have a story about derivatives trading. What about you? Do you have some crypto horror stories?
I think he already got a keyword. So trading. So my sad story there is quite typical related to keyword trading. So in my personal trading, I got liquidated in my Bitcoin positions during one of those market collapses. Yeah, so I think this is even sadder than Young story, right? Even though in both cases we lost money in the centralized exchange, but Young can blame like FTX, blame SBF, right? But I can only blame myself. Yeah, so yeah, it's typical. You may say a lot of people experience that. That's a very typical sad story in the trading among people who do trade. But when it comes to yourself, it's still horrible. Okay, so I will just keep it short because it's I don't want to. Yeah, so yeah, that's the horror story that I have.
We all have them. Welcome to Web3. And if you don't have a Web3 horror story, you must be brand new, baby. You must have just walked in the door. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
We all have them. And if you haven't experienced one yet, get ready. It's coming because we all will
Brace
experience
yourself.
whether it's an NFT, whether it's just a bad trade you do, which I think is usually how people. It's either a bad trade is usually what happens, right? It's like you have a buddy that maybe tells you about some coin that you should be buying into because of XYZ. You're like, you know what? I have been thinking about extending my portfolio a little bit. I'm going to buy some crypto. Little do you know, you just made a mistake, brother. But hey, what do? You live and you learn, and then you learn how to actually, pick right projects. It's a fun game.
Yeah, actually, speaking of that, I do have a point from the positive side of this story. So yeah, I agree with you that I think everybody's gonna experience something like that. So then, if that's something that's just absolutely inevitable, then it's good to experience it early rather than later, right? Think about now. If you just entered like when you're young or just entered it, you don't have too much money to lose, then you experience something like maybe like even wipe out all your saving. It might be still relatively small comparing with, okay, if you have accumulated a lot, or for example, you become a millionaire or like even bigger in the crypto, then you got wiped out, and think about that. So I think, yeah, it's good to experience it early rather than later.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nipun, who is backstage right now, said the worst horror stories are the best lessons. So if anybody here can learn from my downfall, my downfalls, our downfalls, then this is a benefit just in general, because obviously we want everybody to stay safe, learn from our lessons, learn from our non-well-beings and our bad mistakes and bad choices. But yeah, I know we're James, we're 16 minutes over at this point. I do want to respect these people's and the teams and the people that we have on stage their time. So you want to shut it down here? I know that we have more questions to ask, but everybody has busy schedules.
Yeah, normally if we have one guest, we can just bounce it off them. Are you guys cool? Yeah. But I think and especially because they're live, they might be like, we might be like, hey, are you guys cool to carry on? And, deep inside, they're like, I really need to go and work.
Yeah, exactly.
Publicly, they're like, no, we're fine. We can carry on. So, yeah, I think maybe let's just wrap it up and find out what's coming down the pipeline for each of their projects.
Yeah, I love that. So let's start with Mr. Square. Give me the rundown. What's coming down the pipeline, and what are you most excited about?
So I think in around a month or so, we will have our liquid staking protocol live. So that will, I must say that it will be a big unlock for the entire ecosystem. Something the lending protocol tech says a lot of these DeFi guys have been waiting in for. So that's something really cool. Really excited for that. So I mean, of course, I'll run down. You all know what LSTs are, but you all must be staking your Supra right now in the Star Key wallet. You earn this 8% APR with our LST. You will deposit into our protocol. You will earn the 8% APR and still get the ST Supra, right, to unlock liquidity. So
make me liquid, baby. Come on.
That's right.
Yep. So that's all about unlock liquidity wherever you can. And then pretty soon we are gonna introduce this on-chain automated strategies. We are waiting for the AutoFi to get fully live in as well, but testing that out, started integrations, and once we have that, then all sort of these automated liquidation strategies, automation investment funds, those kinds of things are gonna be up and live on our platform. So it will become like a full stack DeFi platform. You stake your Supra, you unlock liquidity with stake Supra, right? Mint stablecoin, and then earn yield on those stablecoin, everything over there. And of course, inside ecosystem integration as well. Hopefully that kind of our guys will integrate that fast. So, yeah.
And as Nipun says backstage, live, laugh, liquidity. Absolutely, baby. Let's keep it running. We love this. All right, Young, hit me, baby. What are you most excited about? What's coming down the pipeline? Got guns aimed at you, blazing right now.
Okay, so essentially in basically the first few coming weeks, we're going to be doing DEXLINs, Super NS. We're going to release them so that they're tradable on our NFT marketplace. Who knows, we may even do like a special section just for their name so that it looks like you're actually registering or trading domain names. And then we're going to be working on a lot of tooling for creators to kind of distribute rewards to their NFT holders directly on the platform. Again, no code solutions. So we're just trying to make utility as easy as possible when it comes to NFTs, and so that, you know, creators, when you just want to create a NFT with utility, you don't have to touch any bit of code at all. So yeah, that's kind of what we've got going on, and down the road, probably like some trading mechanisms. Yeah, that's to be discussed, I think.
I love it. And even so, if you are in Web3, if you've just kind of gotten into Web3, if you've been in Web3 for a little bit, the thought of creating your own NFT project has always come through everybody's mind, right? It's like you drew something, or you see something that inspires you, or you want to make a certain club that wants to be token gated. The process of creating an NFTs a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, was a very difficult process. It was very difficult to create a contract. It was very difficult to generate your NFTs. You had to work with a lot of people to get this done. Crystara has made this very, very easy. So even if you want to go in there and try to test it out and build your own NFT collection, I highly suggest you go in doing so. I've been playing with their platform for the last day. I'm going to go and play with it more after this meeting. But yes, I just wanted to put that out there. If you're interested in building an NFT project, if you're interested in just seeing how layers work and trait capabilities and how you layer NFTs to make them look the way that they do, they give you previews so you can learn how to layer your traits 1 through 6 and so on and so forth. So sorry to go on a little tangent there. And then boom, on to the next one.
Oh.
Ox Alpha. Tell me what you got, baby.
Yeah, so actually, so just now I mentioned a little bit about next thing we'll do after we go live. So right off that, we will upgrade the protocol to V2, supporting many advanced functions. For example, the Supra's collateral functions, right? So that's something that will be done very soon. Also, we will then integrate our Supra deployment into our melee app supporting. Right now, we're running a Telegram melee app. So basically, it enables you to trade from within your Telegram account. So we have a smart account deployed associated to your Telegram account, so that you don't have to. So just now I mentioned our website, Deri.io. I ask everybody to come to trade on Deri.io. But once we have Supra spotted from within the Telegram mini apps, then you don't even need to go to Deri.io. You can trade within the media within your Telegram account by interacting with our Telegram media app. And also associated with that, we have a AI bot. So then we will put something for example, AI bot assisted trading into that. Right now, our AI bot is kind of rudimentary. It's information only. It only tells you about the market information and makes some very naive suggestions. But later on, we're going to cooperate with some AI engine to give you some better, more sophisticated suggestions. And then after that, we can make even some trading bots work for you. So there are a lot of things to roll out on that directions. And also, yeah, actually there are many other things, but I don't want to put like too many boilers on what's going to happen. So as a trailer, I will cut it here.
Basically, what he's saying is that they are cooking in the kitchen right now. Okay, that's basically what he's trying to say.
Well, a lot of things. Yeah, a lot of things.
We love it, baby. We love it.
The man knows his marketing. He's like, that's a trailer. I'm not going to give you the whole movie, right?
You got to pay for the next one.
That is just a trailer. Simple as that. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. This has been absolutely brilliant. I didn't think this is the most amount of people we've had on one sup. I didn't think it would be this fun and this good. You guys have been amazing guests. So big shout out to each of you. Young, 0x Alpha, Mr. Square. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your candidness in this fantastic episode. We will catch you guys on all of our platforms as SuperDApp Showdown winners. You guys are going to be featured on Project Blastoff 2 on our ecosystem page and across a whole bunch of other materials and content platforms as well. Chase, until next time, sir. See you next week.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for taking the time out of your day. It's been so much fun. And we'll see y'all next week for episode 15 of the Sup.
Let's go.